2007, Brady, in your mind?
He's every bit as good. Every bit as good. I don't think
there's no difference. You're not seeing anything.
I think the difference is that he's not that explosive, chucking it down the field to Randy.
But he
that
hasn't
could change
necessarily
this year.
had the
That could
speed.
change
I mean,
this
now
year.
Brandon Cooks and his speed, I think that we'll see more of it. When you watch the ball come out of his hand, I don't think that it's coming out of his hand with any less velocity than it did 10 years ago.
He looks better physically now than he did then. But the thing is, then he was explosive. He was throwing the ball downfield. It was like instant offense, touchdown after touchdown,
he had
50
an
touchdown
all-time
passes.
great at running down the field.
Right, him and Randy Moss had that. But here's the thing. Last year, and what I expect you to see more of this year, is sort of that death by 1,000 paper cuts, as Trent Dilfer used to say. It was just like dink, 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 like dunk.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you look up and you're down 21 points against the Patriots. And that was kind of the formula that they beat everybody by last year. Except in the Super Bowl, he was forced to do it again, as a thrower, pushing the ball downfield, and he was able to come back against man coverage and basically put the team on his back and come back and win that game.
I just don't think physical skills from him have started to diminish.
Yeah.
Never been a very good runner, still not. But he's always been a tremendous passer, and he still is. And so I think that's really why he's the same quarterback as he was 10 years ago.
But I think, ironically, he ran the ball better last year than I've ever seen him run the ball. I mean, he was...
Are we going to break down Brady's running now?
I mean, you talk about all these things he's doing with nutrition, about recovery. He's got recovery pajamas. I mean, the guy looks physically fit. This is the same guy. You throw up his combine photo. It was not impressive. Now you look at him, he's about to turn 40 years old. It's impressive. Like, whatever he's doing is definitely working.
I mean, of all the great superlatives you can throw at Tom Brady, the fact that he doesn't seem to have slipped a gear at all at really an advanced age for a quarterback. As you know, you played in the league at the age of 40. Tom Brady is doing some unbelievable things. Check this out. Guys who are 40 years or older, and the amount of touchdown passes they've thrown. Matt, I don't think you showed up on this here. No, you're not there.
Yeah, he's
far right there.
Far right.
There you are. There you are. You're tucked in there, a 40-year-old. And so we went through this with you a little earlier today.
By Vinny.
Let's zero in on Hasselbeck there. Great shot of him.
There, right there. You see that?
What were the numbers, though? Did we see the actual touchdown numbers themselves?
How many did you throw?
You close?
Do you remember?
I don't know. I'm never really
You're not really sure? Okay.
So we gave Matthew a questionnaire. We know what Tom Brady's whole regimen is and all that kind of stuff, so we asked you some of the same questions. Tom Brady's bedtime is 8:30 these days. What was your bedtime?
Yeah, hey, listen, that sounds about right. You're 40 years old. That means your kids are not that young. You're reading story time, okay?
Yes.
And for me, I was falling asleep in bed reading stories. 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Okay.
That was about right for me as a starting quarterback.
All right, you beat Brady there. All right. As you mentioned, Brady sleeps in something called athlete recovery sleepwear. I don't know what that is. What were your pajamas like in the age of 40?
I get that. I actually believe in that. I've never done what he's doing there, but I was a compression sock or like Normatec boot wearing person, like finding ways to recover.
What is that, a Normatec boot?
It's like basically elevation and compression. For your, there you go. There's some Normatec boots.
Oh, yeah, look at you.
Ironically, they're in every NFL locker room nowadays. But back then, it was like one of the things that I would try to do to get an advantage. You start getting older, you can't just do the things that you always did. And, so that was.
You slept in that. You slept in those things.
Yeah, for like an hour. And then, at some point, they kind of find their way off.
Brady's favorite ice cream, avocado.
He's got you there. We just had lunch together. He's definitely got you there.
I was, I had bought my offensive lineman one year, Grater's ice cream from Cincinnati, Ohio. Black raspberry chip was my favorite flavor, and that was probably my nemesis. It probably wasn't willing to go certain places.
Shows in the beach in the summertime.
Okay. Brady, a vegan, he'll mix in a little chicken during the season, and you're a carnivore?
I'm not a vegan. I know that.
Not a vegan. Okay.
Not even a vegetarian.
Not a vegetarian. That means you're a carnivore. All right.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm at Fenway, I'm definitely going for like at least 2, sausages with like everything on it.
Okay.
Secret sauce, whatever.
All right. Now we're starting to understand why you're sitting here with us.
Yeah, there you go.
Relaxation technique, Brady. meditation.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, one of my favorite things when I played for the Seahawks, the facilities right there next to Lake Washington, my offensive lineman and I would go out at occasionally on a boat, and we just put a life jacket on upside down and sit in it. And
Like
just,
a diaper, basically.
Like
You
a
wore
diaper.
a diaper.
I wore a diaper
Yes,
in
okay.
Lake Washington.
Yes.
And we just sit there and float. And honestly, it was one of the best things that we ever did.
That sounds nice,
in
actually.
Seattle, in between practices, whether it was Lake Coeur d'Alene, Lake Washington. Highly recommend it.
Oh, what do you think? He might have Brady beat in that category. That sounds pretty dang good.
I mean, Lake Washington does sound good. I mean, you don't know. I mean, Brady could do it in the Charles River. You don't know.
That's
He
some
could be
dirty water.
in the Boston Harbor.
That's some dirtier water.
All right, there we go. We got a whole feeling for what it's like to be a 40-year-old quarterback.
Hey, 40
you haven't
years
even
old.
turned 40 yet.
I'm not even 40
Unbelievable.
yet. I look 40, but I'm not
Goodness,
40.
you're
So
young.
that's good.
The Hasselbeck brothers joining us. It's
What's
football
your
season.
routine, by
Happy
the way?
birthday,
I mean,
Tom.
I've seen you in the
Happy
gym,
birthday.
David
There's no
Lloyd.
avocado
God.
ice cream, that's for sure. Carrie?
No, David, no. I want to go back to you. I'm more involved in pajamas and bedtime. Adam, help me out. What are your pajamas like, and what's your bedtime? Let's just continue this line of discussion.
My bedtime's very low. I fall asleep right in bed. I wake back up. I sleep in about 2-3 hour intervals. That's how I like to do it.
No, you know what? That is very true.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. And my I've got these pajama tops with the Hasselbeck headshots of both those guys all over them.
You do. He sleeps in a suit.
With his phone in his hand like this. This is how he sleeps.
Good night, Adam.
That's accurate. Where's your wife? Can we call her? Because that's probably accurate. No?
It has actually been captured on video or in pictures. That way, yes, I have fallen asleep like that sometimes, yes.
Well,
That
you
is
got to
true.
get the news. All right, so let's get to the news because you do have it. You're our insider, Adam Schefter. Yesterday, you reported that Flacco expected to miss the first week of practice. And from my understanding, the Ravens need to have a contingency plan. What would that be?
Well, a short time ago, John Harbaugh told reporters that he wouldn't close the door, wouldn't rule out, those were his exact words, rule out signing Colin Kaepernick. Now, again, there's a process that they have to go through here before they make any decisions, but clearly Colin Kaepernick looks like he's going to be in the conversation there, and we'll see what direction the Baltimore Ravens decide to go in. But Colin Kaepernick is a guy that has connections to that organization. He played for Greg Roman in San Francisco. Greg Roman is now on the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff. John Harbaugh, obviously brothers with Jim Harbaugh, who's a fan of Colin Kaepernick. Joe Flacco is going to miss the first week of camp. Ryan Mallett steps in as the starter for right now. Dustin Vaughn is the only other quarterback on the roster. As it were, if there were no injury to Joe Flacco, they might need another arm. Flacco's injury for the week makes it even more so. So it looks like at least they'll discuss options, and it looks like Colin Kaepernick will be one of them.
I heard you say that we should stay aware of this or be on this story for the next, 24 to 48 hours. However, here's my question. I don't understand. Are deep connections enough to get Kaepernick on the team?
Listen, he probably is the best quarterback out there right now. There are people who say he's better than some of the quarterbacks on rosters. So this is about Baltimore, which has had a tough start of camp, making a move that it feels would make it better. And if it believes that Colin Kaepernick would add something to the roster, then you go ahead and you make that move right now. And yes, again, I think they're going to sift through their options, see what's out there. And I think that when they look at it and assess the quarterback field, they will come to the conclusion that Colin Kaepernick is the best quarterback out there. And if they want to get some help, that's the direction that they'll wind up going in.
Yeah, some would say he's been the best quarterback out there, but we'll leave it there and wait for that news to happen. In other news from the Ravens, 26-year-old John Urschel pursuing a doctorate at MIT, a bit of a genius, also like yourself. He announced his retirement. What more can you tell us about this?
There's a situation where he has some concerns about CTE. Like a lot of players, we've seen the study that came out this week. We've seen all the discussion, and we've seen more and more players under the age of 30 leaving the game prematurely before they get their chance to play out their full career. Again, there have always been players that have left the game retired, but it just seems like there's been a prevalence of young players doing that. John Urschel turned 26 years old last month. He's getting a PhD from MIT, brilliant, one of the smartest people in our country, and clearly he is deciding to use his brain for other things than banging it against defensive linemen. It's a decision that came this morning. He informed the Baltimore Ravens, and I think this is a decision that has to send out an alarm signal to the NFL and make it concerned that it has another young man, a very intelligent young man, making this decision at this young stage of his NFL career.
Wait, Adam, let me make sure I'm understanding this. You're saying it's linked to the recent study that came out earlier this week. So within days, maybe a week or so, he's decided to retire based on that study?
No. I'm saying all the discussion about CTE, that study being a part of it, Carrie. I think there has been so much discussion about this, the effect that the sport has on the brain, and I think that contributed to the decision he made today.
All right, another camp question. Let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Hasn't signed his franchise tag. What are you hearing about that situation there?
The Steelers report to camp today. I think it would be a surprise if Le'Veon Bell showed up there today, this week, or really anytime soon. Look, he's not contractually obligated to be there. He has not signed his franchise tender. He does not get fined if he doesn't show up at training camp. Le'Veon Bell's goal has to be to get ready for the upcoming season to give him the best chance to succeed. To do that, he would have to come in mid to late August, and there's no reason for him to be there at any point any sooner when his salary is set for the coming season at $12.1 million. He's playing on a one-year deal. This is about self-preservation. This is about improvement. This is about getting ready for the 2017 season, and that's why I think it would be a surprise if we saw Le'Veon Bell anytime before the middle of August.
All right, Adam Schefter, thank you for that report. I appreciate it. We couldn't get to some other fun stuff, but maybe we'll have you back on.
I'm going to go change to my Hasselbeck pajamas right now.
Oh, as you should. Thank you. Adam Schefter reporting for us here on Coast to Coast. All right, welcome back to the show. We got to explain yourself. These are always my favorite, David. You're not in this, though. I'm doing it with another David. Seoul, Korea, Ayesha Curry, you see that, the alley up to her husband, Steph. You may have heard of him. He's very popular there in China. She could actually be on the team, could she not, Jacoby?
Here's the thing, is alley-oops are easy to throw to, like, DeAndre Jordan, but that was a nice throw.
It was a nice throw.
That's harder than it looks. You know what I mean? That was a great toss. I love the Curry couple so much.
Oh, I love them, too. Do you think they're the face of the NBA?
They are the first couple of the National Basketball Association.
Wow.
They might even be the first couple of sports. They're just so much fun, you know, and I follow them on social. I know you follow them on social too. They seem like they are always having so much fun. I want to come over to their house. Anytime you guys want me to come over, I'm more than happy to come over. I'll throw you alley-oops in the backyard. You can play with Riley, all of that. You guys cook. It'll be fine. I'll bring dessert.
But look how happy he was when she did it, and he was very proud of her. Like, look at my boo.
He was just
look at my boo did.
He was just happy. He doesn't get to dunk too much in the games, you know. So he was just like, look, I dunked. You see that?
Okay. Did she look like she played ball before?
Yes.
I feel like she has.
She did. Those are harder passes to throw than it looks.
Okay.
Like, we all watch NBA basketball, college basketball. They're really good at that. I'm very impressed with Ayesha Curry.
Okay, by the way, I didn't even introduce you properly. David
I noticed.
Jacoby of Jalen and Jacoby.
Yes.
Welcome to the big show. Thank you. Can I ever come on your show?
Yes.
Documented.
And by yes, I mean me.
By yes, I mean no. All right, so let's stick with the Warriors.
Okay.
I feel as if, and this is the first time I can remember talking about them, and it's silly. We're just talking about Ayesha and Steph. Are we ignoring them because of all the things that are going on with the Cavs?
Yes, we are. Like, we are so enraptured with the drama that is the Cleveland Cavaliers and all the big free agent moves and Chris Paul going to the Rockets. The Warriors have had the best offseason. They added to their team Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant. They've re-signed these players. Zaza Pachulia, Livingston, Iguodala. They've kept their core. And I love the Nick Young signing. Not just because he's going to be so much fun in practice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why?
Like, not just because he's going to be so much fun on social media and in practice.
Yeah.
But because if you take away the Ian Clark minutes and you replace them with Nick Young, I think you get a better performance. He can shoot and he can score. And that second unit needs somebody that can do that to pick up that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson weight.
But the reason why I believe they're being ignored, one, there's no drama. Two, we think they're going to be as dominated. And we don't see it in the near future, them not being dominant, right? So don't you believe that because it's so simple, it's easy to ignore them?
Exactly. It's easy to ignore them, and it's also kind of like easy to root against them because they are so good. This team is they almost went undefeated in the playoffs. They lost one game in the entire playoffs. And look you haven't even seen that logo behind us for quite some time.
Yeah, just because you wanted to talk about it, because otherwise we wouldn't have. You're fair. You're generous.
Fair and balanced.
You are fair and balanced, and you only see auras. You don't see anything else.
No, I do not.
Okay. Speaking of seeing, did you see that press conference yesterday?
Of course I did.
Okay, so let's take a listen. Dan Gilbert introducing the new GM, Kobe Altman.
As it's been widely reported, I sat down with Kyrie Irving and his agent.
Kyrie told Dan Gilbert we didn't want to play with LeBron anymore.
There was several scenarios discussed at that time. I don't feel it's appropriate really get into the details of all those scenarios.
LeBron knows that, and I don't think there's any coming back.
It's unfortunate sort of the narrative that's going on right now, in terms of where we're at.
If Kyrie Irving was in front of LeBron James right now, LeBron James would be tempted, quote, to beat his ass.
This thing is not broken.
Wow. All right. So, bit of drama. The press conference yesterday to introduce the new GM. How do you think they handled all of the discussions surrounding them outside of the GM discussion?
I think they're receiving a little bit of unfair criticism for the way they handled this press conference. They did what I would have done. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. We expect him to be in camp. He's signed to our roster. We need him. Because they're doing the opposite of what the Knicks did when they're trying to move Carmelo. Hey, we're trying to move Carmelo. We don't like this guy. It just takes Carmelo's value down. If you are in a negotiation, you want the other side that you were negotiating with to feel like they're taking something from you, not that you were trying to give something away. So you have to sort of act like you want Kyrie Irving there and that you're excited about him joining the team and going to the 4th straight NBA Finals.
Okay.
I don't want to give away Kyrie Irving for 75 cents on the dollar.
Okay, so you're saying we have to act as if it's all good.
Yes.
We have to put on this brave front. No matter what's happening, they could be collapsing behind closed doors. But if we do get rid of Kyrie, we have to get what we want from him.
Do you want Dan Gilbert to go up there and be like, I've been making calls all day and no one wants Kyrie? You know what I mean? Like, it's silly. And if you are the Cavs, you have to seriously be considering keeping Kyrie on the roster and going to the 4th straight NBA Finals.
It's interesting that you say that. Do you think that's why he was very specific in saying they did not, referring to Indiana, get enough for Paul George? Was he trying to send some type of message?
He's sending a message to his fans, and he's sending a message to the other players on the team, because when you're a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, you're like, wait a second, we could have had Paul George, and now we have chaos? You're like, wait, I don't like that. And Dan Gilbert's saying, we put more on the table.
Okay.
We gave a better offer. It's not my fault. It's not our organization's fault that we do not have Paul George. It's because the Pacers made a bad decision.
Okay, if you think about this, and he said, he, being Kobe Altman, said that it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. That's what he's supposed to say. But if you were honest and you assess the situation, as you do, is this really bad drama?
Oh, yeah. This is
like
bad.
10.
Because Kobe Altman has that job because Chauncey Billups did not take that job. He is not the first choice to be the Cavs general manager. Last year, he was about number 3 on the totem pole. And what they didn't want to do was try to go through this huge GM search while all this is happening and have people turn it down left and right. Next thing you know, it just sort of seems like a damaged organization. So they said, well, who do we have in the house? Who can we hire?
Yeah.
Kobe Altman, here you go. And I like his job because I like low expectations. You know, so he comes in throughout all this chaos. If it goes right, he takes the credit. If it goes wrong, he says, look, you put me in the middle of the chaos.
Yeah, you're right. Low expectation. You do like, what does
Always
that mean?
keep the expectations as low as possible.
Or manage them, no? Just low.
Low, yeah, keep them low so you can get over them.
God, all right. I'll take that advice. That's
Yeah,
good. I'm going to be on your show, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm available. I'm in the building.
We'll see. You're going to turn us down.
Yeah. No.
Next Wednesday, come on the show.
Hey, Jalen, I'd like to be on the show if you guys want me on.
He doesn't pick up phone calls.
David Jacoby. Back to you.
Hey, earlier in the week, we saw an intrepid reporter, Will Reeve, at Wrigley wielding a large rake. There it is, or whatever that thing is you drag through the infield. He got a chance to work with the Cubs ground crew. He actually snipped some ivy. I think that's frowned on in the groundskeeping fraternity, is stealing ivy from Wrigley, but he did it anyway. And now Will is in the Bronx Yankee Stadium. What in the wide, wide world of sports are you doing today, Will?
Well, David, today I am giving tours. I am official. I've got my walkie-talkie. I'm ready to go. I've got, this is just a prop right now, but it's connected to a speaker. I will be giving tours to paying customers here at Yankee Stadium. Lou Gehrig famously said, today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, right? That was on July 4th of 1939. Those are the facts you need to know when you're giving a tour of Yankee Stadium, the stadium which has grass that's Kentucky bluegrass. They keep it about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches long. The dirt, the warning track in the infield is a mixture of red clay and crushed brick. We've got Monument Park over there that has 22 retired players, but only 21 numbers. Remember, the number 8 retired twice for Yogi Berra and Bill Dickey. I got plenty of facts for you, David, because I'm actually giving tours here at Yankee Stadium in just a matter of moments.
Okay, I got a couple questions now. I'm going to quiz you here. What is the capacity of Yankee Stadium?
We've got the official estimates are ranging, but we're north of 50,000, that's for sure. I'm actually standing on a new feature at Yankee Stadium, the Toyota Terrace, which is standing room only, so the numbers fluctuate.
Oh, I did not ask about the Toyota Terrace. All right, what is the address of Yankee Stadium? The mailing address.
It's on 100. Oh, the mailing address is you take the subway. No, it's 161st Street.
Yes.
I got here on the 4, the Express 4. You can take the D if you want. It's River Avenue. I know that, too.
Take the Deegan if you have to.
I'm more concerned what's inside the stadium.
All right, all right.
We got 18 seats in the judges' chamber. We're going to the museum. There's a bunch of balls.
Where's the nearest restroom?
60% of the entire Yankee.
All right. Listen, I'm looking forward to this.
There's one right over there.
Okay, good. We got the Yankee Stadium piece coming up Sunday, the Wrigley Field piece coming up Saturday. Will Reeve out there at the ballparks doing some fun stuff. All right, Will, we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Getaway day in D.C. The Nationals and the Brewers, and there goes Bryce Harper again. His 8th home run of the month, a 2-run shot, number 26 on the season. His hitting streak now at 19 games, batting .425 in the month of July.
Okay, so from one D.C. headliner to another, Kirk Cousins, you like that? He's back on the field after another eventful offseason. Diana Rossini joins us next to talk about the Redskins quarterback. We're back in just a few moments.